This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
Sup, ladies and germs, this is the Player 4 Podcast.
Hello, I am Tristan, aka Shagrazir on the Rooster Teeth website.
I'm Malachi, aka Suki Kiba.
I'm Joseph, aka Jay Dunlap, and guys, I'm sad that Alex is not here again.
Well, I think it's because we're germs and he's sick of us.
I thought it was
that a dad joke?
Time. It was a dad joke.
Is it a dad joke or a bad joke?
Both.
Player 4 stand up, everybody.
Up a dad joke?
Open mic night.
Joke? Oh, goodness. Don't put me on the open mic.
So why do we want to listen to you today, Joseph?
Well, so the schedule is Joseph is going to say something. Joseph wants to say something. We don't want him to say something, but he's going to say it anyway. Malachi wants to rant about some virtual reality. Then we're going to make him relive vicariously for us, or
Gross.
however that works.
Do you have the timer set?
Yeah, timer's been set.
Oh, timer's been set. Okay.
It's set. You got half an hour starting in 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. What should I do in the meantime?
30 seconds.
Nothing. I wanted to give us 35 minutes.
I was making a joke, that's all.
Okay. No.
It's a bad joke. It was a dad joke.
It is. It was a dad joke.
Okay, so I want to say something.
Okay.
So I talked last week about auditioning for a voice acting role. I didn't get the role, but something I said on 10 Minute Magic this past week, for anyone that listens to that other podcast I do about Magic the Gathering, my son came into the room and auditioned.
Yeah, you wanted him to be the kid.
Yeah, it was a one line.
My son auditioned for a role that I mentioned, and it was the only other one person that auditioned, and so he got the role.
Yay! I mean, let's be fair. You auditioned him.
Yes, I did audition him. I even
you
coached
tricked him into it.
No, it's not tricking. He's his manager.
Michael understands voice acting. He understands that Luke Skywalker is the Joker.
All right, that's good. Got to start them early on that. It was years before I realized that Mark Hamill played the Joker. Years.
Yours. So, yeah,
Congratulations, Michael.
The line that he did for the audition is the only line that he needs, so he's done, but he's going to be credited.
6 years old, and already he's got a credit.
That's true. He gets an IMDb page, right?
Damn.
He is ahead of me.
Yeah, he's better than
ahead of all of us.
He's doing better than Joseph.
Yes, true. It is true. But that's the thing. That's the thing I wanted to say. I'll let Malachi rant now if he wants to.
It's just like, why? I just want to understand why. That's all.
What do you want to understand? Why what, man?
Well, one thing I want to correct when you see the old podcast, I didn't know what the Blu-ray thing meant with the new PS4 Pro that's coming out. It was the 4K is not implemented with Blu-ray DVDs. Only the games are 4K.
Oh, somebody's going to be unhappy. So you got 4K for video games, but then you pop in your movie and it goes, I can't play this.
No, it can play it. It just can't play it at 4K quality. So that's what I made a mix-up before. I remember it was something about Blu-ray, and I said it was missing, and I was mistaken.
I thought it was completely gone. So the games are on Blu-ray discs.
Yeah, it's just that the regular movies will not run at 4K quality.
Yeah, that doesn't actually prove that the games are on Blu-ray discs. Never mind, I can stop talking about that.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, the new PlayStation VR is out. You can get it for a whopping $400.
That's kind of expensive.
Guess what the new PlayStation Pro is going to cost when it comes out?
$400.
$400. So that's why I want to understand why the VR is cost as much as the stupid system itself.
Wait, you're telling me that the VR isn't a standalone system, it's an accessory to the system?
Yep.
And it costs as much as the system itself?
Just the headset is $400. My understanding, to what I've seen, I haven't looked up any information on it, but to my understanding, you have to have the PlayStation Go stuff with it, the camera that sits on top of your TV that tracks lights and lets you move your arms around and all that fun stuff.
I've seen the Xbox Kinect that does that. I didn't know that PlayStation had one.
Yes, it's exactly like the Kinect.
What's that called?
I think it's PlayStation Go. You have to have that along with the headset, which you can buy in a bundle with the headset for $500.
Wait, the Go comes with the headset for $500, or it also comes with the system?
No, that doesn't come with the system. You have to buy that separate. So the system is just $400. The headset is $400, and then you have to have the PlayStation Go.
What does
also.
PlayStation Go usually cost?
I have no idea offhand. This is what I've observed, and I'm just like, what? Really?
This is just cost on top of cost on top of cost. I mean, I understand that. So VR is an emergent technology, so things always cost more when they're new. But this is like prohibitively expensive. Like, who's going to drop, $800 to $1,000 on a video game system that is equipped with technology that's still being developed? There isn't that much to do with it yet.
So pretty much you're paying for a little screen, a few sensors on it, and then the 6-axis, which the 6-axis is also on the controllers, which are only $60.
Yeah, that's expensive for a controller. Like, you can get Xbox controllers, which also have 6-axis, I think. I'm not sure, actually. They might not. But yeah, so that's $60 for that, but then $400 to get that on a headset, and you say that it's using external cameras to track your movement, and
to my knowledge, yes.
As far as I understand it, the VR that I've seen, like the HTC Vive and other ones that, friends of ours like JJ Castillo are working on, those don't use external sensors. As far as I understand it, those are just the headset and the hand controllers, and that's all you need. Now, part of the problem with that is you can still run into a wall by accident. But as far as I know, you can still do that with any current VR technology.
Still, even if there was some crazy technology that I'm not seeing that's in it, or some things they've described, or because I didn't even realize it was coming out already. That's why
I agree with you. Without further research to understand that you're getting more than what we think you're getting, it doesn't seem like it's properly priced.
What do you think, Joseph? It costs as much as the system itself. That's what's crazy.
They're counting on a few things here with the way they're doing this. And this is based off of my knowledge of the way the internet companies work, which is hike up the prices a little bit, and then a few people will leave the company, and they'll go get internet from someone else and choke up their bandwidth. Your bandwidth frees up, and you still make about the same amount of money, if not more, because the amount of people who left were not proportionate to the price increase. In this case, they're banking on, first off, people who want the new PlayStation forking out $500, or at least the amount of people who don't being disproportionate to the price increase, and on the fact that people who want the VR for the PlayStation are also willing to fork out that amount of money, and in that case, they really don't care who buys it and who doesn't. They'll charge $400, then people will pay it if it's worth it to them.
That's just crazy, though.
I will say that is a pretty common belief that's held by capitalists in modern-day America, that people will pay what they believe something is worth. So they can ask any price they want, and somebody who believes it's worth that will pay it. And that's really the mentality that's behind microtransactions in current F2P games, like through Steam. People will pay what they believe something is worth. So if it's not worth it to them, they won't pay. But if they really, really want it, they will pay. So games like Warframe that you and I play, or games like Overwatch, where you don't have to, but you can put in extra money to get something more out of the game, whether it's a cosmetic or something.
Just look at Warframe with their bundles they do for their Prime releases.
You buy
$120.
That's 2 games, and you got
a frame,
an in-game item, and a bunch of in-game cosmetics, and some boosters. People pay it. People pay it.
Can I transition to a slight tangent that's along the same lines?
I think so.
Go ahead.
One way to capitalize on people being willing to pay a certain amount of extra money is to create a privilege, much like in free-to-play games. I want a few more bag slots. How much does it cost the game company to actually give you bag slots? Nothing.
0.
But people are willing to pay for it, so you give it to them. So when we transition over to conventions, let's say RTX, how much more does a VIP ticket cost from a normal ticket versus what do you get for the VIP ticket, which is a privilege of skipping lines a privilege of being in the lounge and a privilege of going to what was once a pre-existing party, now as a separate party. So a little bit of money's being sunk into it at this point, but still, it's still mostly paying for privilege. So the people paying are happy, and Rooster Teeth is happy. Speaking of RTX, Tristan, what happened this week?
The applications for guardianship opened up.
So are you going to apply?
I already did.
You're going to already did.
My application.
Wait,
Already did.
RTX?
Yeah, no, Alex and I were in close contact on Skype. He was like, dude, did you know? I'm like, what? The applications are out in like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, I was just waiting for that. He goes, want to fill out our applications together? I'm like, this is a little gay. He's like, yeah, we're going to do it.
Were you holding hands like you and Rick?
Yeah, well, we would have been if, he weren't in St. Louis and I was in Connecticut.
Okay, Mr.
So
Fantastic.
169 points.
Stretch Armstrong. But yeah, so we filled out our applications. I again put my primary choice for team as tech, because I've done that twice and I really like working with those guys, so hopefully I'll get to do tech again. And actually, instead of doing lines, Alex told me that he's put his first choice as Expo Hall instead, because he told me his favorite times working lines were when he was doing line management in the Expo Hall. So he thought that maybe if he just did Expo Hall in general, he'd get that first experience over again and have a better time.
How far away is RTX? Is it really that close already?
Nope.
No, okay.
It's in July.
Okay, so it's just that the Guardian applications open up way
They opened up the Guardian applications. Usually they open up Guardian applications in December. They decided to open them up an extra 2 months early this time because last year it was like down to the wire and they were still making decisions and
Gotcha.
organizing Guardians and, getting, oh, sorry, I said yes 2 months ago, but now I don't know anymore kind of calls. So they're just maximizing the time they have to get all that organized.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that we're talking about Rooster Teeth stuff, Malachi, what's the next thing we're supposed to do?
Relive vicariously through moi.
Who's moi? He sounds like a jerk.
I know, right? So, we are on the exciting season of Red vs. Blue 13, which means I'm almost caught up.
You're almost caught up, man. It's only taken 2 months.
The season 14 finale's coming up this weekend.
Well, good. That means I could get caught up, and then I could talk exactly with everything with you guys.
What?
That means that our final segment of Reliving Vicariously is actually going to be a spoiler cast of Red vs. Blue Season 14.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Get it?
No, I don't.
No,
Okay.
it's segment section.
So, yeah.
Hey, fine, I don't need your approval.
I just don't get it. What's segment section?
Segmentception. We're going to have a segment within a segment, so we're going to be having Reliving Vicariously and primary topic at the same time.
Gotcha.
Anyways, so this season was all about the team dealing with Baldy. Yeah, Baldy. What was his name again?
Oh, the guy from Charon Industries.
Yes.
I don't remember his name, but yes.
Yeah.
We
only see him
behind Charon Industries, the guy who sent Felix and Locus to Chorus.
Yeah. So this whole thing was the whole spiel with him, and they actually covered it in the whole season, which was kind of cool. Like from start to finish.
Instead of introducing a bad guy and saying maybe next season we'll figure out how this ends.
Yeah. Well, the introduction of him and then the conclusion is at this, but technically he was involved in the previous season also, but just behind the scees.
Well, season 11 as well.
Really?
Technically, because
yeah,
beat Felix and Locus in season 11.
Yeah, no, I thought that was when they first crashed there. I thought that was
when they first crashed there. I thought they found out about the Civil War at that point.
No,
at the very end of the season, because that's how they got split up.
Oh, see, I need to relive it again, vicariously, probably. Maybe not.
Just watch it again, just for fun, because it's good.
Oh, that's what I gotta do. All right, so you said at the end of last season they found out that Felix really wasn't a good guy.
Oh yeah, and he is like really bad, really twisted.
Oh, like
yeah, you get to know him a lot more in this upcoming. Although he's got a fun bad guy personality.
He's really talkative.
Yeah, And he smacks talk people. He doesn't give a crap. And even when he's wrong, he's just like, whatever. I don't give a crap. We're just gonna do this.
There's a 3-episode segment in season 14 that's devoted to Felix and Locus. I think you'll enjoy.
That's kind of weird though, because Felix is dead. Like,
let's get to that. So you said in last season that they were they found out that Felix was a bad guy, and they like captured. They found out that he was working for Charon Industries, and that Charon had Maine's helmet.
Yes. Well, actually, when did they show it? They showed it in this season because he used it as motivation for Felix and Locust to get the job done. So basically, he just doesn't have a helmet. He has the whole suit.
Oh, he's got the entire main power armor.
Yeah, but it's a revamped, better version, and he used it as leverage to get them to do what he wanted. It's like, hey, you either do this or you don't get the shiny toy, and then I kill you.
I think that his. I actually thought that his incentive speech was kind of funny. He showed them the armor and he explained everything it could do and what it gave them, how it would have all the powers and the ability to run them without an AI. And so he said, so either you get the job done, which is to basically get the people of Chorus to wipe each other out so that he can have the planet, and I give you this armor and money. Or you fail, and I give this armor to somebody else whose job is to finish the job you started then kill you.
Yeah. So we start off in the whole season with everyone trying to get a handle on what's going on. The team is rummaging through both groups' armory supplies and everything, and everyone has their own role. They're doing things, and you get to see the Reds and Blues dealing with different people and their interaction with the two groups.
So at this point, the Reds and Blues are acting like generals, kind of, or sergeants, like commanding different segments of the army.
They actually have their crap together, it looks like.
They each have a different squad. So what you want me to believe that Griff is leading a squad of soldiers and getting them combat ready?
No. I think he was with Sarge and them when they were raiding enemy camps and gathering supplies after taking their bases. Because that's what Sarge was doing, and I think Griff was with him.
Wasn't it Sarge, Tucker? Was it Griff?
And Caboose.
I remember, because that opened up with Tucker standing over some soldiers who had surrendered to them, didn't it? And he was like smack-talking them.
I got stuck in my head some of the funny parts.
Tell me your favorite scene.
Freckles in Caboose's gun.
Freckles in Caboose's gun. So Freckles, the giant robot, the mantis,
is in his gun now. And when it's on safety, it does a little horn and shoots confetti.
It's a party, yes. It's like one of those party whistles. Whee! Confetti shoots out. So basically, Caboose, the doctor reconstructed the gun and put the AI from the Mantis into it so that Caboose could have Freckles with him. But she took all trigger control away from Caboose. So if he ever pulls the trigger, because he's always pulling the trigger, it just shoots out confetti.
She experienced that too. That's why she did it.
Yeah.
And so during all this situating where they're trying to figure out things to get things under control, they see the ancient ruins. I think it was Tucker that's seen the ancient ruins in the background. And he's like, what are those? And they're like, oh, they've always been there. He's just like, wait, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I went and I got a funnel cake there.
Funnel cake. They sell funnel cake there.
He's like, what? It's like, yeah, but it's like...
These giant floating ancient alien ruins that are defying gravity and look like communications towers. They're just like, yeah, it's like a, kiddie ride. It's like an attraction that people just go visit it. Now you just don't even notice it's there anymore.
It was a funny part when one of the guys was like, hey, do you know about those ruins? It's like, yeah, everyone knows. My dad took me there when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, you get a funnel cake. It's always about the funnel cake. In any event.
They went there. Tucker activated the spire with his sword, and it led to them discovering that this alien tech could be reactivated. And so it was a race between Locust and Felix and the Red versus Blue gang to get to these relics before the other one does.
What did they find inside the relic?
Well, when the first one they got to, it activated all the alien tech and destroyed all of Felix's and Locust's weapons that they used part of the tech with because it overloaded everything.
Yep.
And
so
then,
basically, that's another thing that we didn't talk about. One of the big things, one of the reasons that Charon wants Chorus is because Chorus is just laden with ancient alien technology. They want to sell it because even though nobody can use it, it's still really valuable as like bragging rights or trophies. Like none of the alien weapons or vehicles are functional. Nobody knows why. But there they are, and they're valuable to collectors, and Charon is one of these collectors.
So yeah, with all this going on, they end up going to a place to see who was a worthy warrior.
Yes, they went into the relic, and the AI there said that they had
You
to
remember
prove
his
that they
name?
were a true
His
warrior.
name.
Oh, of course I remember his name. Santa.
Santa!
Santa. Yeah, I am not calling him that.
That was fantastic.
His name is Santa. Church Epsilon refused to call him Santa.
And then while they're in that, the really funny part too is the dome is Gray's like, all right, I'm gonna try something. When I say drop the shield and fire, because they were actually trapped out in front of that ruin with Santa.
Yeah, she goes into the relic while the gun kills everyone for them.
Yeah, she activated one of Freckles' protocols that allowed him to like just go
fire his own targets and fire.
Yep, she's great. She's like, it was a 50-50, you know? I was just like trying it out.
Yeah, she says this to Carolina, who she left in the line of fire.
She's a great character.
So Locus and Felix, didn't they go in to prove that they were true warriors?
Yep, and each one showed a different aspect of themselves when they went in.
Right. So which one was a true warrior?
Well, in the end, when we get to the end of it, yeah, it was more Locust than it was Felix. It doesn't show Felix's. You actually get told by Santa at the end of the season what his fear was. But we get to see Locust's, which was they were all surrounding an elite or an alien of some sort, and they were going to transport it, but they ended up gunning it down.
One of them claimed that it was acting hostilely toward them.
Yes. So,
and Locust tried to stop them because it was not.
Yeah, he was hesitant.
Mm-hmm. And who was the person who first suggested that they should kill it?
Felix. Yep. So, long story short, the reason they had to go in there was to get another key. So, Tucker's key interacts with these sites, but there's another key on Chorus that is used for all the tech that's there, another sword.
Yeah.
So, then there's
Who
the
ended
race.
up with that sword?
General, starts with a B.
General Scaredy Guy.
Yeah.
The leader of the Imperial, or the Imperial faction, as opposed to the Rebel faction.
Names. So terrible names.
So am I, but he is shown to have many character flaws and weaknesses, but he is shown to be very devoted to making Chorus a better place.
There was a race to get the key. He actually got there first, ran away with it, barely got away with it, and he ended up ditching the sword. Luckily, they didn't realize that, neither side realized that he had to tethered to one person only.
Right, now that he's touched it until he dies, he's the only one who can use it.
So that leads to the current situation, which was they wanted to kill him to be able to use the key because they asked Santa what it could do, and there's actually a purge system which will eradicate everything, every living life form on the planet.
Except life forms within the towers.
Actually, they didn't say that right away.
Oh.
That was actually said later.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because Felix asked that. He's like, so if I activate this, what will happen to me? Like, is there any guarantee that I'll live? And he's like, yes, anyone that is in the tower, this ancient relic will survive.
Okay, so who ended up being the true warrior that the tower responded to?
Oh, it was Caboose.
It was Caboose.
Yeah. It was Caboose.
He sat there and asked him all these questions, and Caboose answered in ridiculous fashion.
Well, no, did you not remember? He's like, I turned up the gravity. And he's like, Caboose is like, huh?
Who's
I don't
gravity? Who's that?
grabbing it? Yeah, who's that? Santa was like, whoa.
What are you? I am blue.
You can't have red versus blue without Caboose.
Even Carolina went in there and tried to prove that she was a true warrior and got kicked out.
So with all this leads up to them trying to kill the general dude to be able to use the key to use the purge, which led to all the fights that happened throughout the season. And then toward the end, the general dude ends up giving up his life to blow up the city to wipe out a lot of the mercenaries because they just raided the capital.
Yeah, that was such a ridiculous scene to me. It's like there are any number of other people who could sacrifice themselves to do this that doesn't immediately give control of the key to Felix.
But
yeah, I know. Their idea was that Felix was in the city, so...
Well, no, that all those soldiers, like, they'd wipe a big force. They didn't know if he was or wasn't in the city. They had that assumption. They were like, he might be there, he might not.
Right,
which actually
but I mean, my point is, like, the General Scaredy Cat didn't need to be the one to hit the button.
True,
and if he hadn't been, then they still wouldn't have needed to worry that Felix had the key, because he still wouldn't have been able to use it.
I was going to say that the general, story-wise, was the one to do that because it's his redemption moment because he is cowardly. But you're right, Tristan. It's not story-wise the right character to be doing this.
Like, my problem wasn't that it's like, come on, there's any number of other people. Like, you're right. Character arc-wise, he needed to be the one to do it. Story arc-wise, he needed to be the one to do it because otherwise Felix having the key would never have been a threat. So he needed to die so that Felix having the key was actually a threat. The problem was that they didn't set it up well. Like, there was any number of ways for anybody else to be the one to sacrifice themselves to detonate that.
It was a mishap plan. You remember, they had a plan, and they evacuated everyone.
Yes, I know, and then their remote failed, so somebody had to do it manually.
Yeah,
but
so
like Carolina or the woman who was leading the rebels originally could have gone back and done it.
But they don't know the layout of the Imperial City like he did, though. That's why he said, I know, I can get there. I can do this because I know the way. They were lost down there trying to sneak underneath the city.
Yeah, I remember all that. It just seemed a little contrived to me.
Well, I think they also use it as a motivation point to rally the troops to come to unite, because remember Campbell's speech after that she said, he did this.
Because she finally got respect for him.
Yeah. I think they also wanted that as a catalyst to give that unity.
No. Story-wise, it was necessary. I absolutely know that it was necessary. He had to be the one to do it, because otherwise the story could never have been driven forward. I just felt like his reasoning wasn't good enough.
Wasn't solid enough. Okay.
Right.
Just wanted to sum up the rest was they did end up stopping it. They did try to send a message. The corp guy came back. They had to end up going on a ship to stop a bunch of mantises that were killing everyone after they pretty much won. And then that led to all the red versus blue being stuck in a room and needing a way to fight their way out. The way they ended it was kind of interesting. They got the suit of armor. Tucker put it on. And so now he looks like Maine. And then Church put himself into fragments to support the suit.
Yep.
And that was the end.
Bye, Church.
And the reason I wanted to mention is, like, that felt like an actual ending. Like, they weren't going to do any more seasons. That was the original plan, right?
There isn't really an original plan. I mean, that's the end of that arc.
Okay, so they kind of left it really solid to where they could continue or they could not.
Well, I mean, but so was season 10.
Yeah, true. All right, good night, everyone.
Oh, it's at the end. Yay.
Yay. Shut up, Malachi. Hashtag goodbye.
Hashtag bye.
Wow.
It's not over. It's never over. Player 4 forever.